Ali. Okay, next tutorial. This tutorial is meant to be the Wicked Witch of the West. Now, not the version of the new Disney film, Oz the Great and Powerful. This is meant to be the 1939 version of the Wicked Witch, played by Margaret Hamilton, more famously known as the Judy Garland version. Yep. A very old, more sinister-looking version of the Wicked Witch. More iconic, I think, and it's so fun to do. It's it's like a mini old age mixed with old hag, and yeah, it's quite fun. And a bit of Hulk dashed in there. But yeah, there's not much else I can say about this look, except for if you'd like to see how to recreate it, stay tuned. So to start off with, I'm going to talk to you guys quickly about the prosthetics that I'm going to be using in this video. I am going to be using Gelatin Prosthetics, and coincidentally, I'm actually going to use the same ones that I used for my Theodora makeup, which is basically meant to be the same character, just this version's got to be a lot older. So, so I sculpted a nose and chin for that. I also sculpted a brow for that makeup, but I'm not going to use that. I'm only going to use a nose and a chin. So the nose I've sculpted is just very, very elongated and hanging down. Whoops. And the chin is just a bit more exaggerated, so it just gives a better profile, because that's the typical profile of the Wicked Witch when she's clawed out, that kind of thing. So very creepy. So the idea is, the reason I'm not doing the brow as well is because I don't think in the original reference photos and the original film, I don't think she has that much of a brow going on. So I'm going to just leave my brow as it is and paint it and make it a bit deeper with shading, that kind of thing. So I'm going to apply some Pro Stick to the undersides of both my prosthetics and to my nose and chin area where they're going to be applied. Let them dry so they're slightly tacky, and then press them in so they stick down nicely. Oh, and also I should point out, here's a link to a tutorial I've done in the past to teach you guys how to make gelatin prosthetics, if that's the route you guys want to take. You could do it out of liquid latex and tissue, but I want it to be really smooth, so I think gelatin's the easiest, well, the best way to go, aside from using foam latex. So, also, I am going to block up my eyebrows before I do this, just thinking about it. So I'll pop a link here to a tutorial I've done in the past again, teach you guys how to block them out, just so I can save some time up in this video again. But yes, I'm going to block them out because I'm going to be drawing them on a lot higher and a lot more cartoony, so I don't want my real brows to be visible. So yeah. So I'm just going to let this dry for a few minutes, and you can see from the profile what I meant, it's really, really symbolic that, is that what I mean, symbolic? It's most recognisable when you see that kind of, yeah, very Wicked Witch. So yeah, don't worry about the edges, I'm going to blend those with Witch Hazel after it's fully dried. So then I can take some Witch Hazel, which you can find at most chemists and places like that. I got mine at Boots in the UK. So yeah, so the idea is Witch Hazel is just, it's something I think you put on bruises to just reduce erythema, redness, and just that kind of thing. It soothes the skin, but it also blends gelatin beautifully. So I'm going to take it and a cotton bud, and just a fair amount of this, and the idea is to roll away at the edges of your prosthetic, because it will just blend the gelatin into your skin, and hopefully that should taper off all the edges here. Okay, so as usual, whenever I use gelatin prosthetics, I moan about certain edges. So basically, this edge here, I didn't think was good enough. So I took some liquid latex and a sponge, and I've just dabbed it around the edge just so I can get a better finish. Same with slightly up here, and there was a little air bubble here, so that explains the white. So for the foundation, I'm going to use the same mixture that I used for my Theodora look, because I love this colour. I worked so hard to try and get the perfect green for a Wicked Witch, and I think I've got it, I don't know. So basically I took a Snazaroo lime green watercolour and a Snazaroo bright yellow watercolour, and I mixed in 3 parts of the green with 1 part yellow and 1 part Clown White by Snazaroo. That gave me a creamier colour that would just blend in, and that's the colour I got. So when it applies, it goes darker. Yeah, I just think it's a really nice Wicked Witch colour. So I'm going to apply that all over my face completely, particularly heavy on the eyebrows, just so I can block them out, and my neck obviously. Then I'm going to do the darker green eyeshadow she seems to have. So it's not really eyeshadow, I think it's more contouring, but I'm only going to do it on the eyes. So this is going to go up to your brows over the wax, and it's going to go quite low down here, tapering out, so very much like the bags under her eyes. So the colour I'm going to be using is by Sugar Pill, and I'm using their Pro palette, and it's in Midori, I believe that's called. Yeah. It's this dark green shade right here, and it's really lovely. I've already tested it out on my hand just to see how much darker it is, because it needs to be about a couple shades darker. So yes, I'm going to take a fluffy brush and apply that all around both my eyes. Then, taking an angle brush, I'm going to take some Grimas Black Cream in 101. You could take a watercolour if you like, and the reason I'm using this is because I do like how dark it goes, plus it needs to smoke out a tiny bit because she's got these really triangular brows, so yeah. So I'm going to draw the shape on, then flick them out slightly just to make them look really untidy. So as I said, really triangular, really angry brow shaped. Okay, so there we go. So I've drawn them quite close together and very triangular. And I've also tapered it out so it just looks a lot more messy. Yeah. Then I'm going to take a Grimas cream in 401, which is a darker cream than all of this on my face at the moment, except for the eyebrows obviously. And I'm going to use that for the shading. So there's not a huge amount going on here, there's not a massive amount of wrinkles or anything like that, but there is a strong nasal labial fold, so I'm just going to paint on just that, just very... The idea is you paint it on neat, and then you can blend that colour outwards, so the area in the middle needs to be neat, and the outside tapers off. And I'm also going to use that same cream just to dab a circle of colour, just about there, because she's got this very big wart, hasn't she? Then I'm just going to use a plain black mascara. This one's just Maybelline Colossal Volume Express. It hasn't got to be huge, this is the one I have to hand. And I'm just going to coat both my eyelashes just so... I mean, she's not the most glamorous of creatures, obviously, but she has got a slight set of lashes on her, bless her. So, yeah. For the lips, I'm going to take that same dark green by Grimas, and I'm going to use my finger. I know it sounds unprofessional, but I just want it to be a stain, like I did my Theodora look, so I'm going to coat in the inside of my mouth and just pull it out, so it's very, very stained lip colour. I've just popped on my costume. I skipped ahead a tiny bit. Popped on my costume, which is the same one I used for my Theodora look. I've just painted my neck here black because my costume doesn't quite fit this whole area here, so yeah, I don't know, I'm just going mad. So you obviously don't have to do that if you've got a costume that goes all the way up. The final step I'm going to do is I'm going to take that same dark cream and I'm just going to paint some wrinkles on the forehead, just because it looks too neat in that area, I think. So when you paint wrinkles, just furrow your own brow and just trace your own line, and just make sure that the edges taper off really nicely, because you don't want just like a thick chunk there, because that would look weird, obviously. And I've just done two lines with the same cream going down either side of the bags of the eyes. It just looks better when they're darker, I think, and there's that neat line cutting it off. The wig I'm using is this long brunette wig that's sprayed black. I'm literally just going to take some pins and pin it up into a really messy bun underneath the hat, so that only a few straggly hairs are showing underneath the witch's hat that I've got, because it's a very messy look. But it does look quite short considering, so she probably has got it under a bun into that hat. So there we are. So when you're happy with it, I've applied my hat, but it's pretty much you just pull random sprigs of hair through the bun that you've made, so it looks really messy and untidy. That's pretty much it. I've got my witch's hat on, which I love. I got this off of Amazon. I was going to put some contact lenses in because you guys know how much I love contact lenses, but she has very, very human eyes, so I'm going to stick with as my eyes are here, and I'm not going to put anything in my waterline because she's got very pinky natural eyes. It's very bizarre. I think it's just so you can look at her eyes, and I mean the eyes are most recognisable usually by people, and I think it's so you can look at her and think that's Ed Murray Gulch from the earliest scene, and yeah, so I'm going to leave that as it is. But that's pretty much it. I'm going to finish the look off by painting both my hands green, which you guys know I don't do it very often with painting my hands, but I'm going to do it. Why not? But yeah, once I've done that, it looks complete. So there we go. So I've painted my hands. I've also applied a bit more of the green cream to the edges of my eyes, just to add a few crow's feet, just because it looks a bit, I don't know, adds more character to the look. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. So I've got my broom. Got my hat, got my wig, costume. I'm ready, I think. So yeah, that's my Wicked Witch of the West. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you like it, make sure to rate, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. And yeah, so until next time, bye.